You ever notice how some people just get it? They read one article and suddenly speak like they wrote the encyclopedia. Meanwhile, you're rereading the same paragraph for the 5th time, hoping the words magically start making sense. Here's the twist: they're not smarter than you. They just learn how to use their brain efficiently. Like driving a Tesla while the rest of us are still pushing a shopping cart uphill. So, if you're tired of working hard and feeling dumb, good news, your brain's not broken. You've just been using it on demo mode. Let me guess, you've tried everything to get smarter, right? You've watched productivity gurus who wake up at 4 a.m. and drink mushroom tea from the Himalayas. You've downloaded 5 note-taking apps, color-coded your life, and even bought that one expensive notebook that was definitely going to change everything. And yet, here you are, staring at your screen, watching another video on how to learn faster. You start a book, feel like a genius for 2 chapters, then forget everything by page 60. You take notes, highlight half the page in neon, and still blank out when someone asks what you just studied. Your brain's like, sorry, that data expired yesterday. And don't even get me started on the guilt spiral. You want to improve. You try to focus. But the harder you push, the more it feels like your brain just throws up an error 404. You're not dumb. You're not lazy. You're just tired of doing everything right and still feeling like you're not getting anywhere. Because deep down, you know you could be sharp, confident, quick, if someone just showed you how to actually learn efficiently. That's what this video's about. Not fake hacks, not study 12 hours a day nonsense. Just the real, proven ways to get smarter without burning yourself out. So, take a breath. You're not behind, you've just been using a slow method. And today, we're upgrading your brain's operating system. Alright, so let's talk about where most people completely mess this up. Because you're not stupid, you're just being lied to by terrible learning advice. See, the internet's full of people saying, read more books. Watch educational videos. Consume knowledge. Yeah, cool, except your brain isn't a USB drive. You can't just download howtobesmart.exe overnight. The first big mistake? Information hoarding. You're collecting knowledge like Pokemon cards. Reading, watching, listening, but never actually using any of it. You know 50 quotes about discipline, but can't remember what you had for breakfast. That's not intelligence. That's mental clutter. Second mistake, passive learning. You sit there watching a how to focus video while scrolling through memes on your phone. That's like trying to meditate at a rock concert. You feel productive because something educational is playing, but your brain's on vacation. Third mistake, the grind myth. You think studying for 8 hours means you're learning more. No, it just means you're exhausted and delusional. You could spend half that time actively engaging and retain 10 times more. Smart people don't grind harder, they optimize better. And the final one, the classic, overconfidence in memory. You read something once and go, yeah, I'll remember that. 2 days later, you're like, wait, what chapter was that again? Spoiler, your brain didn't delete it, it just never saved it properly in the first place. Here's the truth bomb. Most of us aren't learning, we're just consuming content and confusing it for progress. You're not bad at learning, you're just practicing it wrong. Like doing push-ups with your knees on the floor and wondering why your arms look the same. But don't worry, once you know what actually makes information stick. Getting smarter stops feeling like a chore, and starts feeling kind of addictive. Let's be honest, when you say you want to get smarter, you're not dreaming about acing IQ tests or quoting Aristotle at dinner. You just want to feel in control of your mind. You want to walk into a room and get what people are talking about. You want to learn something new and not feel like it's flying over your head. You want that quiet confidence, the kind where your brain actually cooperates instead of sabotaging you mid-sentence. Because being smart isn't about knowing everything. It's about trusting that you can figure things out. That no matter what life throws at you, a new job, a new skill, a weird adult problem, you'll be able to handle it without spiraling. What you're really chasing isn't intelligence, it's freedom. Freedom from self-doubt, confusion, and that constant I'm behind anxiety. And once you learn how your brain actually works, you'll realize getting smarter was never hard. You just needed the right system. Here's the real secret. Getting smarter isn't about how much you learn, it's about how you learn. Most people are basically trying to sprint on a treadmill, lots of effort, zero distance. You don't need more knowledge, you need a better process. Think of your brain like a computer. If it's running slow, the solution isn't download more files. It's fixing the system, clearing memory, organizing data, updating the software. And that's exactly what smart people do. They're not geniuses, they're efficient system users. The core principle, learning is a skill, not a trait. We grow up thinking smartness is something you are. Oh, she's just naturally intelligent. No, she just has better mental habits. Learning is like fitness. If you train the right way, you get stronger. If you don't, you stay stuck. And most of us have been training wrong since kindergarten. Memorizing, cramming, rereading, the academic equivalent of eating only instant noodles. It fills you up but gives your brain zero nutrition. So let's fix that. Step 1. Understanding versus remembering. Here's the first shift. Stop trying to remember information, start trying to understand it. Remembering is surface level. It's like taking a photo of something and thinking you own it. Understanding means you can rebuild it from scratch. If you understand an idea, you can forget the words and still reconstruct the meaning. That's real learning. So, when you learn something new, ask, do I really get this, or am I just recognizing it? Recognition feels safe, that oh yeah, I've seen this before moment. But that's your brain tricking you. It's like seeing your gym membership card and thinking you're fit. Step 2. Active recall, the brain gym. Imagine trying to get fit by watching workout videos. That's what passive learning is, watching, highlighting, nodding. You feel productive, but your brain didn't lift a single cognitive dumbbell. Active recall flips the script. It means testing yourself, pulling knowledge out of your brain instead of pouring it in. Every time you struggle to recall something, you're literally strengthening neural connections. It's the muscle-tearing part of learning. So after reading or watching something, don't just say, okay, cool. Ask yourself, what did I just learn? Try to explain it, to your wall, your cat, your mirror, whatever. If you can't explain it, you don't know it. Yes, you'll sound insane. But hey, so did Einstein at some point. Step 3. Spaced repetition, forgetting is the feature. Here's the paradox, forgetting is part of learning. You want to forget a little before you review. That wait, what was that again, moment is your brain saying, hey, I'm about to delete this file, want to keep it. That's when you restudy. That's when memory locks in. That's why tools like Anki, Notion spaced reviews, or even a good old calendar reminder work wonders. Review at increasing intervals, 1 day, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. That's how memory sticks, through friction, not repetition. So if you ever forget something and then relearn it, don't feel dumb. You just reinforced it properly. It's like upgrading a file from temporary storage to permanent backup. Step 4. Connect the dots, learning by linking. Smart people don't store random facts, they build mental webs. They connect new info to old info. If you learn something about nutrition, you link it to biology. If you learn about habits, you link it to dopamine and psychology. Your brain loves connections, it remembers relationships far more than raw data. Think of each piece of knowledge like a Lego brick. A single brick is useless. But once you start snapping pieces together, you get castles, spaceships, meaning. So next time you learn something, ask, how does this fit with what I already know? That question alone turns you from a note-taker into a thinker. Step 5. The compression trick, think in simple patterns. Here's a funny thing about geniuses. They can explain complex ideas in ridiculously simple ways. That's not because they dumb it down, it's because they've compressed it. Your brain loves patterns. When you find the rule behind the chaos, the details take care of themselves. Example, instead of remembering 10 different study tips, you realize they all boil down to active, spaced, and connected. That's one mental folder instead of 10 sticky notes. So, whenever you learn something, ask yourself, what's the pattern here? What's the one-sentence summary? If you can't explain it to a 10-year-old, you don't understand it yet, and that's your signal to simplify further. Step 6, the feedback loop, use it or lose it. The fastest learners don't wait to be ready, they apply immediately. Learn a new skill? Try it today. Read about communication? Test it in your next conversation. Learn a new word? Use it before lunch. Every time you apply knowledge, your brain moves it from theory to identity. It's like hitting save changes on your mental document. And if you mess up? Even better. Mistakes give you data, they show you what's missing. Failure is not the opposite of learning, it's the accelerator. Step 7, metacognition, watching your brain work. This one's the big unlock. Metacognition just means thinking about thinking. It's when you notice how you're learning. You start realizing, oh, I remember better when I draw it out. I lose focus after 25 minutes. I learn faster when I teach it. Congratulations, that's self-awareness. And once you notice what works for you, you can double down on it. The dumbest way to learn is copying someone else's routine. The smartest way? Build your own. Because what makes someone else productive might make you miserable. The goal isn't to copy their habits, it's to engineer your own brain's user manual. Step 8, the system summary. So, here's the recap of the easy, proven way to get smarter. Understand instead of memorize. Recall instead of reread. Space your reviews instead of cramming. Connect ideas to old ones. Compress into simple patterns. Apply fast. Observe your brain and tweak the process. That's it. 7 steps that make your brain run like a software update. Faster, smoother, smarter. The funny part? Once you start using this system, you'll realize smart people aren't magical, they're just strategic. They've learned how to learn. And the best part, once you unlock this, you stop feeling like you're chasing intelligence. You start feeling like you're building it. Because intelligence isn't a gift. It's a muscle you can train. Meet Arjun. He's the classic I'll start studying at 8 p.m. guy. It's 7:55, he's made coffee, opened his notes, adjusted his chair, and suddenly decides it's the perfect time to clean his keyboard. At 8:30, he finally starts reading. 5 pages in, he's confident. Wow, this makes sense, he tells himself, highlighting every other sentence in neon yellow. Basically turning the page into a radioactive sunflower. Fast forward to the next morning. Arjun sits down for revision. Blank. Brain equals factory reset. He can't recall a single concept. It's like his mind looked at all those yellow lines and went, yeah, we're good, and then deleted everything. Now, old Arjun would panic. He'd think, I'm dumb. I need to study longer. But this time, he remembers something, learning is a skill. So instead of rereading, he closes his notes and tries something new. He writes down everything he remembers without looking. It's messy. Wrong. Full of question marks. But then he checks his notes, and realizes he actually remembered some of it. That's the dopamine hit. He goes again. Each time, he fills more blanks, remembers more details. And suddenly, learning starts to feel, kinda fun. Then he spaces his reviews out, day 1, day 3, day 7. Each time he recalls faster. By the end of the week, he's not cramming, he's confident. And during the test, something weird happens, he doesn't panic. He's not guessing or forcing recall. He just knows it. Because this time, his brain actually saved the file. Afterwards, Arjun laughs. I spent years blaming my intelligence. When all I needed was a better system. And that's the punchline. The moment you realize learning can be trained, you stop feeling like you're fighting your brain and start feeling like you're finally working with it. Alright, enough theory, let's get tactical. Here's how you can actually start getting smarter the easy, proven way, today. Step 1, learn less, but deeper. Pick one topic. One video. One chapter. Don't binge 10 educational things in a row. Your brain isn't a buffet, it's more like a slow cooker. It needs time to digest. So focus on understanding what you're learning. Ask yourself, could I explain this to my 12-year-old cousin? If not, go back and simplify it. Step 2, teach it back. After you finish learning something, explain it. Out loud, on paper, to your cat, whatever. Teaching forces your brain to organize information. And that's where understanding locks in. If you struggle to explain it, congrats. You just found your weak spot. Fix that, and you'll remember it forever. Step 3, space your reviews. Don't cram. Instead, review at short, increasing intervals. 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days. That's spaced repetition, and it's your brain's cheat code for long-term memory. Use flashcards, notes, or even a reminder app. The key is friction, make your brain work to remember. That's how it grows. Step 4, connect and apply. Every time you learn something, ask, where could I use this in real life? Then actually use it, in a conversation, project, or decision. Application is the glue that turns information into wisdom. Do this for 1 week. Seriously, just 1 week. You'll start feeling the difference. You'll remember more, stress less, and finally realize getting smarter was never about effort. It was about strategy. Okay, time for a brain trick you'll actually remember, literally. Next time you learn something new, imagine your brain as a messy library. Every time you read or watch something, a tiny librarian inside your head goes, cool info, and just tosses the book onto a random shelf. That's what passive learning does, chaos. Now imagine a different version of that librarian. One with glasses, a label maker, and way too much caffeine. That's active recall. Every time you try to remember something instead of rereading it, that librarian grabs the book, files it in the right section, and sticks a bright yellow tag on it that says, hey, this one's important. Then, when you review it again a few days later, spaced repetition, the librarian goes, oh, you came back for this book? Great, I'll move it to the VIP shelf. After a few rounds, your brain becomes a perfectly organized library, where every idea has its own spot and you can find it instantly. So, next time you study, don't just read. Train your inner librarian. That's how you go from information chaos to mental clarity. So, here's the takeaway. You don't need to be a genius, you just need to learn like one. Stop trying to pour information into your brain like a leaky bucket. Start treating it like a system, one you can train, tweak, and upgrade. Because getting smarter isn't about working harder, it's about working with your brain, not against it. Once you start applying this, understanding deeply, recalling actively, spacing your reviews, connecting ideas, you'll notice something magical. Learning stops feeling like a chore, and starts feeling like progress. You'll catch yourself remembering things without trying. You'll explain ideas clearly, make smarter decisions, and people will think, wow, you're really sharp lately. You'll just smile and think, yeah, I finally figured out how to use the thing between my ears. If this clicked for you, share it with someone who's stuck in the study harder trap. And hey, stick around. Because we're just getting started on building the smartest version of you.